Starving Nights podcast. You already know what it is.
Do I?
Your boys back on a couch, back to the OG pod location.
Yeah, not that we've been kicked out of the other pod location.
It's
That's
just,
upstairs.
Yeah, it's just a different room in this same building.
Yeah, we're tired boys. We want a couch.
Yeah, man. I like the vibe of a pod couch.
Yeah,
or a couch pod even. It's just, or a pod couch. It's just relaxed conversation. So what I was thinking was, this is the first time in a while, actually, because obviously, time ago, pod was always like, oh, this is what the band's doing. And then we were like, we're not doing the band anymore. Yeah. Psych, we got you invested for nothing. But, we have actually done some band stuff.
We have done some band stuff.
Because we said...
We're nearly done with doing band stuff. We're nearly
done with it. We just got to, record one more vocal on one more song.
It's getting closer. How are you feeling? Are you feeling sad? Are you mourning? You know what?
I'm excited for people to hear the last two songs, because we did say we'd put two more songs out, and that was in February.
Yeah.
I'm excited for people to hear it, but I think now I'm just happy with other projects that I'm doing, you know what I mean? Yeah. And other things that we've done since then, and I feel like it'll be a nice end to the story.
Yeah, it does feel like it's kind of run its course. It feels like looking at an old man on his deathbed that's saying no, it's my time.
Yeah, it does. I mean? And I saw a thing the other day that was talking about how it's okay if the thing that once sustained you becomes burdensome. That happens with most artistic ventures at some point.
Yeah.
And we got a decade out of this. You know what I mean?
Very true.
And it was the majority of what we did for the longest time.
Yeah.
So I don't feel and I don't feel like I've come out of it with regrets, but I've come out of it with lessons.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Of I look at things and I'm like, oh, we should have done that there, but then I'm like, okay, well that just means if I'm ever in those sort of positions again, with future projects, I feel a bit wiser for it. So yeah, we recorded the vocal for the single, the first one of the two songs that is going to come out. So that should be out. I don't know if we said this on pod or if I just said it to you or if I've just said it to other people. I initially said I wanted the first one to come out in June, which, what are we on? It's still only early June, isn't it? At time of recording. So it might come out by if not, it'll be early July.
What month did we start the band? All those many years ago.
You and I first got together in, I want to say November 2015.
Yeah. When was our first gig?
Well, depends which band, though. Long, you know what I mean? Because,
true.
Technically, the first Strangers gig. Oh, it's probably the same, though. I think it was a January time.
Yeah. When was the first Revolvers gig?
First Revolvers gig was, March, maybe?
Was it?
Yeah. I feel like it took us a little while to get going, because we had to, when we first started, we had to find members.
That's true.
And then we had to fire members, and then we had to get different members.
Yeah, I remember it still being in college term time, but I can't remember what the weather was like outside. That's normally what I base it on.
First Revolvers gig was Citadel.
I remember the venue,
yeah. It's a shame that there's no send off gig for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a shame that our last gig was just
was the last gig, which is a bit of a shame. But at the same time, I feel like we sort of lost interest in doing Strangers gigs a little.
Yeah.
We've had so much time to be able to just go, let's stop writing and recording and let's just take the stuff that we've done, rehearse it and gig it.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we've started that process, we've turned around and gone, should we just work on something?
Yeah, it's more fun to write.
We're studio artists. I think that's what.
I think that. Especially now there's only two of us. Yeah. When Jamie comes home, so former Strangers drummer Jamie Griffith is moving back to this country, right? Which
just as we've finished the band,
what's he doing? You know what I mean? But I'm game to just get in a room with Jabsy, and if we just say, we'll just relearn these 2 or 3 Strangers songs, and then go in a room and fuck about with them. I'm game for that. You know what I mean? Just for the memes as much as anything, because I miss like plugging a guitar into an amp and turning it up real loud with the voice, you know what I mean? Like, because that was like so much of what we did for like the longest time. And it is like, I know you say like we are studio artists. I think we are, like, that is how we express our art, and there's a lot of fun in like the creation of those initial ideas. But also what was fun was the creation of initial ideas in a room where you could like will those ideas into immediate existence by playing them together. You know what I mean?
That I'm going to get comfy since we're on the couch.
It's fine, we're on the couch.
I think that the funnest part of like a rehearsal room for me is the time in between the songs, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the time when you're not playing music.
Yeah, the fucking about in between, like, because you're all high energy from doing the song.
Yeah.
And then you fuck about for like 5 minutes, and then you go, right, we should probably do another one. But that time in between is what I find more memorable than actually doing the song. You know what I mean?
The thing is, for me, like, I sort of, for the longest time, used to treat rehearsals like gigs. So, I would be game to just be like whiling out and stuff every time we rehearsed. And that was fun to me. But also, like, coming up with, like, when we were used to sort of workshop new ideas in the room.
Yeah.
Like, if I had like written something on an acoustic, or if I had a riff, or we just started jamming something, that was one of the funnest things.
Yeah, like, because we'd be doing the song that we already had, and then one of us would do something slightly different, and the other two would go,
yeah, right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it's the same, like, you know, it's the same as when you're in the studio with someone and you're just fiddling, and like you're on the keyboard and I go, oh, what you just did there, that was it. You know what I mean?
But it's in real time.
But and you can go, okay, let's, like, you can get a song out pretty quick. You know what I mean? You don't have to sit there like choosing drum sounds and shit.
Yeah, like that's the thing with like electronic music as well, is it takes a long time just because you're trying to find the right sounds, whereas a band, like, you're not going to have the same sort of complexity, but the output's so much quicker. We'd write songs and then we'd be gigging them within a week. Yeah. Whereas now, like, if we were to be gigging, it'd take us a fucking long time to get that song written. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it was cool to be able to just, like, record in that way as well, where it's like, okay, I almost actually quite like the limitations of it now that we've gone so far in the other directions. I quite like the idea of going, okay, you have these 3 instruments and a vocal, and then maybe
a song in an hour.
Yeah. Like, and also that's testament to, like, we can do that. You know what I mean? Like, we are good enough to do that. Yeah. And I think that's a cool thing.
It's just a choice that we make to fuss and pour over.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, but it's cool to be like, okay, we've got guitar, bass and drums, we've got a vocal, we might add like some little synths and a little bit of production elements later on. Yeah. But like the core of the song has to come from this. It can't come from like, listen to this crazy sound that I've found. You know what I mean?
I think it's like,
both of which are cool, by the way, but
it's creative in different ways, isn't it? It's like,
totally.
On one hand, like the band side of it is more sort of visceral creativity. It's like you expressing yourself there and then without very much thought at all. Whereas when you're in the studio and you're making synths and you're doing this, that, and the other, it's expressive in a more deliberate kind of way. Yeah. Like you've got to have an idea in your head and then like ease it into existence almost. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's less like playing off other people. You know, like when you're in a room, you can go, oh, well, at that moment when we just tried it, I did this thing and you just happened to do this thing at the same time as me doing that thing, and that really worked. You know what I mean? But I mean, you know, we can
both are equally valid as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I think we definitely went through a period where we were like, bands fucking suck. Like, like, just guitars in a room. Oh, boring.
Yeah, but I mean, there's limitations to what you can do with that, which does, I still believe, result in a lot of people sounding the same as one another. Like, especially like if you've all come into it with the same sort of genre in mind, the ideas that are going to come to you and the tools that you have to fulfill those ideas are all going to be along the same kind of lines. It's like, you know, if you've got like... So I've been watching Yellowstone, right?
Right.
And there's a lot of country music on there. Yeah. And it all sounds pretty fucking similar because it's either a guy or a girl with an acoustic guitar and maybe like a fiddle.
Yeah.
So they all sound pretty similar because that's the tools available. Whereas with electronic music, the tools available are
endless.
Your mind,
yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean? Like whatever you can invent is what you can make.
Yeah. Well, I also think that maybe like the reason that we became disillusioned with like guitar music was because the scene that we came from was so like it was influenced by a certain type of indie music, and therefore everybody kind of came out of it sounding like a version of the same thing.
Yeah, it's like the scene that we came up in sort of stopped in the early 2000s,
right?
Like that.
yeah. But also, like listening back to, I don't know how often do you go back and listen to our body of work?
Not as often as I used to, but I don't really listen to as much music as I used to because I don't have to commute as far, and that's when I get most of the listening done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing that I'm maybe proudest of the things that we've made is the fact that compared to everybody else in the scene that we came up in, we do not sound like we're so much more inventive. We do not like just
very different. Like.
Yeah, to blow our own horns a little bit. Like even when we were more guitar orientated, it was like Midnight Driving is not like anything that anybody else was doing in our scene at that time.
Like there's things looking back that like as producers now I'm sure that we'd change and make better and would write differently. But like, it's by no means a perfect album.
No,
but at the same time, I can't point at anything else and go, it sounds like that.
Yeah, and also I think
maybe Nocturnal sounds a bit like the 1975.
Do you think? I think
no, 2 a.m. not Nocturnal. Sorry. But other than that, like, there's no part of it that I go, oh yeah, that sounds like this because it's been influenced by genres outside of itself, you know.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about this the other day, right? Because I was thinking about the stuff that we have made since, like, Post Strangers, that's the one we've just been talking about, and the stuff that I've been making with Jack, which is probably going to be, like, put out as just, like, a solo me thing or something. And I was thinking, like, what is it about the albums that I like? What do I love about the albums that I love?
Yeah.
Right. And one of the things that I really appreciate in an album, I was listening to AM for the first time in ages, right?
Yeah.
And like that album, it's like they were like, okay, the drums are going to sound like this for the album. The guitars are going to sound like one of these three sounds for the album. Like
the album has its own distinct character.
Yeah, it's like a sonic identity and an aesthetic that encapsulates the album, and I think some of my favorite albums do that, where they just sort of pit, like if you listen to the first 1975 record, the drums all sound the same from most of the songs, you know what I mean? And like therefore the whole thing, and I can go on a whole other tangent on about how much I think drums are actually like what defines the identity of a song, but like the drums are a certain way, so that whole album has a certain vibe, right? And I was thinking it might be interesting going forward on different things that I work on to say, okay, almost like I was saying about having a band, limiting yourself to be like, okay, we've made one song that has these sounds. Can we repurpose some of those synth patches, drum samples, like just general sonic textures
like change
into
one
something
little
else?
dial but keep the rest of it the same kind
like if we give ourselves these things, what can we make with these things?
I think that like a good way to kind of describe that is like if you can describe an album's character in 2 words, it's a good album,
right?
Like AM is suave, and cool.
Yes, right.
Like, Yeezus is hard and industrial.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeezus is another good example.
Like actually. The songs within that can have their own character. Bound 2 is very different to Black Skinhead,
right?
But you can tell that they're both off the same album because they've got a certain like deliberate unpolishedness to them, you know what I mean? They both sound like this industrial sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Well, and I was thinking about this in relation to the things that we've created. It's like the thing that maybe the collection record is missing as compared to Midnight Driving, even though it's more advanced and complex and the production of the songs is more forward thinking. Midnight Driving maybe encapsulates a world more than the collection does.
Yeah, the collection is a load of singles that we've decided to put out as a collection.
Yeah,
which is why we put them out as singles first. You know
but also, and not to say that the collection, I don't think it's like a hodgepodge listen. Like you can listen to it and you go, okay, these songs all belong to the same artist, but it strays a lot more than the sort of conciseness of the
individual songs
record.
are better, but as an album, it's not got it's this and this.
Yes, it doesn't have the identity, and I think it's not even just because Midnight Driving was conceptual. It's also because like maybe it's just it was a subconscious thing of the limitations of we were new producers and there was only so much we could do and there was only so much we had to work with, so the guitars always sound the same.
Driving, it's dark and atmospheric.
Right, yes.
So it's got that thing of like it's this and that's all it needs to be. It's dark, it's atmospheric. We focused on world building within the songs and that gives it atmosphere. And it's dark because we made it at night and we were teenagers who had mental health problems. You know what I mean? Whereas like the collection, like you can point at any of those songs and go, yeah, it sounds kind of like this, or it sounds kind of like, you know, but you can't look at the collection as a whole and go, it's this and it's this, because it's not.
Well, I think retrospectively, the collection could have just as easily have been called like pop art, because that's kind of what it was. We were like, okay, we're making like singles and like catchy, sort of trying to make like hooks and memorable moments, but with this sort of idea of like a hybrid production and stuff like that.
One thing that you'll find funny is because I don't have like songs downloaded on my phone because I've got Spotify. One of the only songs that's downloaded on my phone is a demo of Anyone.
Oh, really?
And my phone then, whenever I put on an alarm, instead of going for an alarm sound, it goes for whatever audio file I've got downloaded.
Right.
So every fucking morning I wake up to that song. It's not a bad song to wake up to it because it sort of fades in with like quite a soft sound. It's all right. Like I wake up in time with the synth and like it's all right.
Yeah.
But every morning, you say, what's the first line of Anyone?
It was 5:30.
Yeah, that is the first line that I hear every morning when I wake up. So you go, it was 5:30. Like, it's not 5:30. That's way too early for me.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's how I wake up every day.
That's class. I do love that.
And then at that point, I'm not. So you know how people normally wake up and then like turn off their alarm like fucking 5 times or whatever. I get to it was 5:30 and then turn it off and get out of bed.
Right, yeah. I don't want to hear that again.
Oh, no, it fucking isn't, mate. It's what, 10?
That's funny. Well, it could be worse though, because at least it's like a version that has like that is progressed enough to have the bones of the song there. It could be like one of the older versions where the file name is like Bohemian Stove or something. You know what I mean? Like our demo file names are always something fucking ridiculous. I found one a couple of weeks ago for Nocturnal. And it was before I'd written the lyrics. It was just like the instrumental demo of Nocturnal, and it was called "I hope you think about me." Brackets sometimes .mp3.wav. like why?
There's a joke on Rick and Morty where it's called Morty's Mind Blowers, right? And like the premise is that he's been taking memories out of Morty's mind. Whenever something fucks his head up, he just like Men in Blacks him, and then he's got like little vials with the memory in. Yeah. And every time Morty then says like, "Oh, I wish I didn't remember that," it's like, "Oh, well," he'll basically go like, "Oh, I can take your memories away." He goes, "Fucking what you want about?" And he goes, "No, we've done it loads of times. Come down here." Takes him down to the basement and stuff. And then they do Morty's Mind Blowers where he shows him memories he's had taken out and shit. And he's walking around going, "This one's called Bugger AIDS Bugger. I really need a new filing system."
That is what our demos are like. That is our computer. Because like also sometimes songs, they are called what they are called on the record, but just because that's what the demo happens to be called. Like Dental Floss has no
there is
relevance.
No reference to teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's only called Dental Floss because the instrumental demo I originally made way back was just called. I don't even know why I called it Dental Floss. It just was called Dental Floss.
It like it should be called that.
Yeah, like anyone was almost called Tokyo because for the longest time it was Tokyo because it sounded like Tokyo.
Yeah.
But then we were like, is that a bit racist?
And the answer is no. There's loads of white people with songs called Tokyo, but you never know.
Yeah. Well, especially when it wasn't, because like haven't the Wombats got a song called Tokyo?
Yeah.
But it mentions Tokyo in it. It's about Tokyo, whereas ours just has a vaguely Asian synth in it. So we're like, we probably shouldn't call that Tokyo. What I was going to give you updates. Oh, right. So we were talking about in the last pod that we did, we were talking about how I'm like sick of my fucking phone and like want out of social media and off it and all that sort of stuff. The conclusion that I came to, right, was I was like, oh, I don't need to delete my Instagram, right?
Yeah.
But this is indicative of a bigger problem. There's something going on here, and I need to have the self-control to be able to download this onto my phone when I need to post stuff on for the pod or whatever, and not then spend ages on it, right? Yeah. That's a me thing that I need to do.
Well, like, you don't have any other vices.
Well, that is also true, I mean? Yeah. It's
so, like your brain's going to find a way to get addicted to fucking something.
Yeah,
you know
right? I mean? Yeah. It's like that and popcorn, you know?
Yeah.
But, so then what happened was, me and Abby went away. Abby booked for us to go to this little cabin for like 2 nights, which was sick. And we'd been like years ago when we first started dating, so it was a cool like throwback. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave my phone in the car. Yeah. I was like, I'll take it with me because we were gonna do a hike and I needed like the map and stuff. But I was like, for the time where we're just chilling in the cabin, which was like most of the time we were there, I'm just gonna leave it in the car.
Yeah.
And it was fucking great. Yeah. It's not even social media, right? I've realized that I don't like constantly being contactable.
Yeah.
And this has become a big issue because what I've realized is that certain people, and I wish I could talk more in detail about this, but I shouldn't on the pod, but there's certain like people in the peripheries of my life that, be it for work or whatever the fuck,
don't leave you
just
alone.
Don't, like, if they want something from me, it's like they'll email me twice and they'll text me and then they'll call me, and it's like, fuck off. Like, I am not you are not more entitled to my time than anybody
totally
in the real world.
Talking about, let me tell you. So back in the day in high school, I had an Xbox 360,
right,
and so did everyone else. We all had Xbox Live, and you know, it was fun, you know, playing Call of Duty together or whatever with like mates from school and all that shit. But it got to a point where I couldn't just go on my Xbox without someone messaging me being like, yo, join a party chat, yo, do you want to play FIFA, yo, do you want...
Yeah.
And then you're spending all night like playing games you didn't even want to play, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like single player games, I like stories. For me, playing games is time to my fucking self.
Yes.
Like, at the moment I'm playing Red Dead 2 because it's a single player game with a fucking brilliant story. It's like fucking Shakespeare. It's great, right? Now, years later, everyone started transitioning over to PlayStation because the Xbox One wasn't as good as the PlayStation 4. Objectively speaking, it just wasn't.
Yeah.
There was more exclusive games on the other one, that kind of thing. So everyone started getting fucking PlayStation, and everyone started saying to me, you should get a PlayStation 2. Not a PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4. But you should get one as well.
Yeah.
And I made a deliberate choice to get an Xbox instead so that they couldn't ask me to play games with them. If I want to play online games, I'll play them by myself online with... And the thing is that as soon as I did that, I stopped playing online games because I realised what it was that I actually wanted out the experience. Then, years later, people were telling me, like, friends were telling me, oh, mate, you should get this, you should get that. Oh, this game's cross-platform. You can play it with us no matter what. Yeah. And I'd just not buy the game.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people fucking harassing me when I'm trying to, have my downtime. Exactly, and that's what that is for me, you know what I mean?
And I think this is, like, a symptom of, like, the world that we live in. But everyone feels like
they've got an entitlement to time.
Exactly right. Yeah. Because we can contact each other, that we should contact each other. Yeah. And like sometimes it's annoying when it's my phone as well, because like it's distracting. I purposely, and this has been the case since we did OX Collective, so like 5 years, right? I have the only notifications that pop up on my phone are text and now WhatsApp, because text is where Abby talks to me and WhatsApp is usually where people message me about work and gigs and stuff. So
basically same, to be fair.
Yeah, so like if you hit me on Facebook, like I'll check the other things like my email, my Facebook Messenger, Snapchat, whatever. I'll check them sporadically once or twice a day, whatever. But if there's a good chance that if you email me, I might not see it for like 3 hours, right? Because I'm doing other shit and I just haven't gone on the thing, right? And that has worked up until more recently, where like the people who are emailing me are like, it's for more important shit. And I understand that, like, okay, so I can probably say this. So I have an agent for when I work as an extra, right? I'm signed to this agency, and they're a good agency, and I like them, and they get me work, right? And they're easy to deal with. But the one downfall is that they'll send you, if they book you for something, and you have to respond to that email to say, I've seen this, good, yep, sorted, right? And I understand that is so that they can move on with the processing of getting you on that job.
Right,
and stuff.
We've got a guy. We don't need to keep on sending.
And usually there's lots of people that they're trying to get for a shoot, so they might be organising 30 extras.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's not my main job. I'm doing other things. I'm with other people. Like, this is a thing that I do on the side. It makes me 200 quid every 6 weeks, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, if that, you know. And I like doing it, and they've got me some good jobs. I'll tell you about one that I was doing yesterday, actually, in a minute. But it's like, if I don't see that email, they'll email me again. And if I don't see that, they'll like text me and then ring me. And sometimes like the other day I was in the studio and I'd left my phone in a different room because I was in the studio and I'm like trying to work and I'm focusing, and I was recording a demo vocal for something. And I didn't
want of them where if you don't reply, they should just assume.
Yeah, or just
go forward with it anyway. If I missed it, then it's mine to
exactly
miss,
right. And also, it's like I'll reply. It's not like I'm ever leaving them days. It just might be like 2 hours later, right? And I understand, like I say, that they have to. They're doing their job. That's their full-time job to get these people to go to this shoot, right? But it's not my full-time job, right? So I can't give you that time because I'm doing other things with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just a classic example of like, I cannot be at everybody's beck and call all the time because it's distracting as much as anything. Like sometimes I'll go on my phone to reply to something specific or to check something specific, and then so-and-so has messaged me about this, and I'm like, oh shit, I should probably get back to them. And then, oh, there's a message there, I should probably get back to them, so they're not waiting for me either. And it's like half an hour has passed, and I've not even actually got to the message that I was trying to reply to in the first place because I've just seen these other things, and they've grabbed my attention, right? Yeah. I'm reading this book at the minute, and it might be the most fucking game-changing thing I've ever read. It's called Stolen Focus by Johann Hari. And it's basically about sort of the declining attention span of the modern world and the rise of surveillance capitalism, which is a fucking brilliant term, and how like everything is designed around this attention economy, and our attention has been monetized, and these social media platforms are learning how to hack our brains and all this shit.
I heard something that you'll find so interesting. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
I'm terrible for it. You know Steve Jobs?
Yes.
You know he refused to let his kids have a phone.
Weirdly enough, right, this book is laced with stories of like it's tech developers that like one of the guys who he talks about a lot is this guy who invented the infinite scroll, right? Who is now actively campaigning against the surveillance capitalism system, right? Because they go, oh my God, what have we done?
Yeah, they know how it's designed to get you addicted to it because they designed it.
Yeah.
Like the guy who invented Facebook with Zuckerberg, he campaigns against that shit now too. Because the whole thing is designed to get you addicted to the dopamine that gets released when someone likes your post.
Yeah.
Somebody likes me. Oh, I've got approval. And the other people's approval is the most fucking false currency in the world.
Yeah.
The only person whose approval matters is yours. Everyone else can go fuck themselves. Genuinely, this need that people have, and I understand it because it's like tribal mentality, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, you have to be liked by other people because then otherwise you don't get the right amount of food.
Yeah.
But in the modern world, the way that it's been hijacked, it's the worst thing that you can seek is the approval of others.
Yeah, and Facebook, I feel like Facebook's really started this revolution into the place that we are now, because obviously we weren't really old enough to be on MySpace that much and stuff, but it wasn't. I don't know. It just seems like everything now, none of the social media companies now are in service of us, right? And the only way that is going to change is if they change their entire business model.
Yeah.
So it's like
which isn't going to happen.
They're not they're not going to do it willingly, right?
Yeah.
Facebook did an internal experiment, and they hired scientists in and created a whole team to look into the effect of Facebook on things like people's attention, things like the political landscape, and the outcome that came out of that experiment and that research was that Facebook has completely changed the landscape for shit like this, and in a negative way. Yeah. And it is actively making people less able to focus. It's directing people more towards extremism because it is suggesting them. It was one of the things they looked at. It was in Germany. It was suggesting in the pages you should Nazi extremist groups, right?
Yeah.
Because once you see one thing, and if you spend too much, ever so slightly too much time reading one post, it goes, oh, we spent some time on that post.
Yeah.
So he wants that. You know what I mean?
It's keep eyes on the screen for longer.
Exactly right. But so they did this review and they presented their findings to Facebook. The review commissioned by Facebook got presented to the managers of Facebook, and they laughed it off because it basically meant that they would have to change their entire business model to not basically sell our information to the highest bidder. They would have to
echo chambers. The more that you engage with something, the more that it engages back. So you're never gonna find a viewpoint that challenges the viewpoint that you have, because you've spent so much time on the viewpoint that you have that it's just going to show you that again because that's what works. The whole thing with social media now is that it's an advertising platform masquerading as an entertainment platform.
Yes.
If it's free, then you're the product. Mm-hmm. They're selling advertising space to companies.
They're selling access to your eyes, basically.
Yeah, they're selling access to your eyes. Every 5 posts, you're going to see an advert, and that's what makes them money. So they need to make sure that you stay for 5 more posts. Yeah. Doesn't matter what those posts are. Yeah. As long as it keeps your attention. If it makes you angry, or if it makes you feel fucking anything. Yeah. Then that's good enough, because you'll stay long enough that you see an advert soon. Yeah, and I would love to do, when I finish reading this book, and I'm gonna collect my thoughts into concise points, and I'd love to do a pod on it and present some things in this book to you, because I think we'd have a fucking great conversation about it. But I'm still sort of in the middle of it and not fully aligned on it. But I think it puts me in a really weird position, right? Because first of all, we do this. And I feel like a hypocrite when I say this stuff, but also, you know what? At least we're putting some kind of a fucking spanner in the gears by saying that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Well, so I was editing. But again, it's still part of the problem, because if we say this stuff and someone goes, yeah, I agree with that, and then scrolls on to the next post, it's because we've made them feel guilt. Mm-hmm. Or made them feel anger, or made them feel something that keeps them on the app long enough to see another fucking advert. Yeah. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because we can say, put your fucking phone down, right? And some people
might listen to that, but
I know I didn't know when I'd be scrolling and someone say, put your phone down, I'd go, no. And then I'd scroll on to the next post, which then, see, even in that, like, if you make someone feel guilt over the fact that they're using the phone, all they're going to do is scroll on to the next post, which might be an advert.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's difficult because we all know that this shit is bad for you, right? Yeah. We all know this. In the last pod, when Adam was on, he quoted John Green or Hank Green, I can't remember which one, and one of them basically said, making social media content is like making cigarettes. Yeah. We know it, it's bad for them, right? And the people consuming it know it's bad for them. But what are we doing, right? I feel like I need to forcibly get people to read this book because it's the only way that they're going to fucking understand. Because obviously, in a book, you can explore. There's so much depth to it, right? And until you really immerse yourself in that world, it almost wakes you up from it, and you go, "Oh my god!" It's like I can see the fucking Matrix, right? Yeah. And it's been driving me insane because I now feel like I somewhat exist outside of this world, and every time I engage with social media in some way now, I'm so hyper aware of all of the things that it is doing, all of the ways that it is bad. It's not just because you can talk about it in terms of like our attention span and all that sort of stuff, but it's also like the way it's changing political discussions and discourse, the way it's changing the youth. It's essentially we've put a fucking slot machine in the pocket of every 10-year-old. Yeah. Like, these things are designed to be addictive, and every time I go on social media now, I see that, right? And I'm very hyper aware of it, but we do this. So what the fuck does that mean? Because the way to promote these conversations about essentially good conversations, I would say, about the right thing and the dangers of things like what is going on social media at the minute, the way to get people to watch that is to put it in front of their eyes, and everyone's eyes are on social media.
It's like putting a conversation like this onto TikTok, for example, is almost like a form of protest.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we're using the thing that we're advocating against, but that's exactly the thing that you should be using when you're advocating against it. Like, it's say if you really hate mink coats, stand outside of the fur shop.
Yeah, right.
And throw some paint on the fucking mink coat. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that we're going in and shopping there. We don't use TikTok.
Yeah.
We post on TikTok,
right,
to be in front of people that do use it so that we can give them these opinions about it. Not that this podcast is anti-social media podcast. It's supposed to be about the arts, but, those two concepts
go hand in hand. This is also what I'm realising is like, I'm realising that part of the reason why I hate it is because it is so anti-art, and the way it's like changing the art world and the music world.
I mean, again, it's an advertising platform masquerading as an entertainment platform. Like, people do create all kinds of different art on there, but they're using that as a means to advertise the art. We've done the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not, the platform isn't the thing that you go into to create art. It's a place that you go into to advertise your art. Right. We were trying to convert people from TikTok viewer to Spotify listener so that they'd listen to our music. You know what I mean? So, like, again, it's masquerading as entertainment, but it's advertisement. Everyone that's using TikTok to post, unless it's memes, and even then, all you're advertising is your own fucking meme page. Yeah. You're not making anything from it, but you're advertising yourself.
Yeah.
Everything on there is just an advert. If you've got an influencer who's trying to, advertise makeup, for example, they're being paid to do that. It's an advert.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got someone that reviews other people's content, it's so that they can make ad revenue. It's an advert. Mm-hmm. Everything's just every single fucking thing on the place is an advertisement for something. If it's not an advertisement for a company, it's an advertisement for a person and their personal brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
But you know what's crazy is I've almost taken solace in the real world more, because I'm like, like when I went to that cabin and my phone was in the car and I had no internet connection, I was just sat reading. I was looking out over this amazing view of like countryside. I genuinely had the thought of, they can't reach me here. Like, they can't get to me here. Nobody can. There was a fucking Amazon Echo in the cabin. I unplugged it. I was like, nobody can get me here.
Oh, that Alexa in ours. Oh my God. We'll just be having a conversation and then it'll light up and be like, sorry, I didn't understand that. It's like, no one asked you, bitch.
I know, right? Well, I won a bet with Abby, right? And the prize was that we got rid of the Alexa out of the bedroom. It wasn't that she has to throw it away. It's in the living room.
Yeah, it just doesn't need to be listening to you while you're fedonking.
Exactly right. And also like, it's got just this like slight blue light tinge to it that you'd wake up in the middle of the night and you'd look over to see what time it was and you'd look and you'd be like, oh, it's a clock, but it's also an Alexa. Like, so we've just bought an actual
blue
clock.
Light, the perfect thing for your sleep.
Exactly right. Yeah, we've bought a clock that can change colours and it's on red. You know,
nice.
Because there's barely any light coming out of it, and it's so much better. But yeah, I'm just
because red light actually helps you to get sleep,
exactly
doesn't it? Because that's what colour the sun is when it goes down.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like, breaking down what humans actually need is so easy when you just look at like nature and where we're from.
Yeah, we have overcomplicated it far too much.
Did you know? I might have mentioned this before on the pod. I don't fucking know. I say so much shit. I was actually at a wedding, and I'll tell you who it was later. But basically he said, oh, I've been listening to the podcast. And I was like, oh shit, nice. And he went, yeah, fuming though because of that Arctic Monkeys episode that you did. And he told me my own listing of the order that the albums are like good in.
Right.
And I didn't even agree with myself anymore. And he was like, do you still agree with that, what you said? I was like, I don't even remember saying it, but like, I bet I did. Yeah. You know what I mean? But the point that I was going to make anyway is there was a study done, and it's something like if you live on a road that has more than 10 trees on it, there is a measurable decrease in your risk of getting cancer.
That's crazy.
Like 10 trees, living within a certain like whatever radius. 10 trees is all it takes. Something to do with the terpene oils that are like in it and shit. But this is all from another podcast and I listened to it about 5 years ago, so I'm kind of butchering the information. But like the fractal sort of patterns of leaves have a measurable effect on your mental health.
Yeah.
Like the twigs and leaves all put together. That's actually the same patterns that are in Jackson Pollock paintings. It's why people like them without knowing why they like them. Yeah. Because it reminds your subconscious of trees.
I love that so much.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's where we're supposed to be. We're from the woods. We're monkeys. We're apes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
We're not supposed to have all this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm really in a transitional period of thinking like, okay, how can I like improve my life in these aspects? Like, how can I sort of reject the digital world in a way that's going to make my life better? But I'm also thinking, how can I? Because I'm realizing like so many people ignore this shit or don't fully understand the depths of this shit, and it's just become part of their normal life, and like they don't realize that it doesn't have to be. So I'm now constantly thinking like, I need to exact change upon the world somehow. How do I do that?
I've noticed this change in you since you've moved to a city, and I think that in retrospect, I noticed this change in myself from when I moved to one as well. It's the same city.
Yeah.
Because, like, we both come from a town where there's a lot of farmland surrounding it. There's a lot of green. Yes. There's, like, you know, obviously there's a lot of, like, industry and stuff as well in parts of the town, but that's not the parts of the town where we'd spend our time. We'd go to a hill. Yeah. Or we'd go to a woods. Yeah. Or, like, there's all that shit nearby. And then when you move to a place that's skyscrapers and concrete and the colour palette is brown and grey, something just like switches where you just go, this ain't fucking right. Yeah. Like, if you've grown up in that your whole life, I don't know what that would be like instead. Like, maybe it's just normal to you because that's all you've ever known. But, you know, living next to a park for my whole life and then living next to a train station, I felt that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and now that I've moved away from that, all I want is a cottage. I want to like grow my own food and shit. You know what I mean? Like it totally switched my mindset coming back to where we're from where I was. Like I came back and I was like, oh my God, I need grass.
Yeah, and like I 100% agree with that. And don't get me wrong, I fucking love where I live. I love living in the city. I love Liverpool. Yeah. I remember like before.
That's been a long-term goal for you is to live in a city for a bit, but I guarantee give it like a couple more years and you will be begging for the cottage.
Yeah, like I remember you saying before I moved, you were like, lads, you're gonna fucking hate it. And I was like, I really love it. I adore it, right? Yeah. But I know that also I'm not going to do it forever. It's maybe the next 5 years of my life.
Is it living in a city that you love, or is it living with your girlfriend that you love?
It's both, I think. What I love is being where culture is and things are happening, and I love this. I love being able to see all this new shit. It's like I've been dropped, like the map has been extended, you know what I mean? And it's like, whoa, like what's down this street, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's so much bigger and there's so much more.
A nice little like cultural part.
Exactly,
well,
right.
To be fair, whereas I was living next to the train station, so like I was looking out my window and not seeing culture. I was seeing people taking heroin.
Yeah, so you were living in like Little Persia. You were seeing heroin and a barber's.
Yeah, I watched someone leave a brick outside of a shop before going in. Out of my window. She pulled it out of a blanket on her wheelchair and said to her friend, mind this for me for a second.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there is also that thing of it, like I was driving through parts of Liverpool yesterday that I'd never really been through, and I'm like, some Scousers say that like Widnes is a shithole. It's like there's like 4 good bits of Liverpool and the rest are fucking horrible, you know what I mean? Like Chew Brook is worse than like Ditton, you know what I mean? Like it's worse than parts of Widnes. But so I and I've been thinking about this a lot lately, right? My life can be summed up by an amalgamation of just endless contradictions because I
you want to live in a cottage in the city.
Right, yeah. I get fed so much by being in the city, and it charges me like creatively, and I love being near venues and
like
bars.
To feel busy, and I feel like seeing other people busy makes you want to be busier.
Yes, right. Yeah, that is probably a lot of it as well, and like I like just being in amongst it.
Yeah.
And obviously I've always worked in Liverpool, but then I would come back to here, whereas now I'm in it all the time, and that's good in some respects, but also it does accentuate it even more when I get to come back here, because it's like, I don't hear anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. I could stop that and I maybe hear some birds, you know, and that's nice. And like when we went to that cottage, the cabin, it was like, like this is where one day this is where I'm going to be. Yeah. I love where I am now, and that's going to be a period of my life. You know, like it's almost like when you talk about, Van Gogh during his Paris era. You know, like I was like, this is going to be this part of my life, and I like that, and I'm fine with it. But also, you know, I'm 27 now. If I'm 37 and still living in like inner city, I'll have killed myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like because I need to progress into that piece, and it's got me thinking about like career and how I set my life up, because I'm like, okay, I kind of want to get to the point where I can do that, not super soon, but also not. I don't want to wait till I'm 65 and then move to the countryside. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, even if I just moved at some point in my late 30s, just back here, but like near the countryside-y bit of it. You know what I mean? Like I need that, because I am very like, as much as culture and art and energy, I'm like earth child and grass, you know what I mean? Like,
I think for me it's like my natural setting is quite chilled out. Yeah. Like I'm not like angry all the time and shit. I'm like relaxed most of the time, but if something does annoy me, it annoys the absolute shit out of me. Yeah. And there's a lot about cities that does annoy me. Nobody has time to be polite, it feels like. Yeah. Like there's a lot of rudeness, entitlement. Like I don't know where that necessarily comes from. Maybe it's the fact that there's so much money flying around and everyone's so busy and everyone's so stressed, and and like the always being noise. It's never just fucking quiet, and like I don't know. when I'm in a city, I feel like I'm watching brainwashing happen in real time. Like,
right, yeah.
I don't feel like I'm watching people anymore when I'm in a city. I feel like I'm watching ants,
right?
Almost, you know what I mean? Because there's so many of them all doing the exact same thing as each other, and it's like, God, you like be yourself, please. Like I'm begging you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And like small stuff annoys me to the point where I'll start ranting and raving about it. And I feel like there's more small stuff to be annoyed about in a city.
Right, yeah.
So for me, like, I have to get myself to the cottage in the middle of nowhere and start growing my own food so that I don't have to be in the supermarket with these fucking people. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. My default setting is chilled out, and it doesn't take much to change that. Yeah. But I feel like there would be nothing to change that if I was just in a cottage on my own. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. How long have we been running for? Because like I want to carry this conversation on. This is 50 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to active track enable. I think we could probably do 2 pods today. The amount we're talking about, but we'll just keep going and make it a long one. Just piggybacking off of what you've just said. I have realised that sometimes, or a lot of the time, right, I feel like an alien, like in public spaces, right? I was in Tesco near me the other week, and I walked out and just thought, I don't think I would like any of those people in there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if I had a conversation with them, I could hold a conversation with them, but I wouldn't relate to them in any way, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's this thing that we've always been sort of alternative and on the fringes of stuff and into certain types of music and certain types of art, from, you know, your fucking emo days right through the Indian hip hop to not Indian hip hop, indie and hip hop, to like me. Like I went to a dance music festival the other day.
Yeah.
Alone. I was like lone raving, right? Which is a crazy experience that we can talk about as well. But I feel like I, and probably you might relate to this as well, have always felt on the fringe of like mainstream society.
Yeah.
Right. I'm very paranoid about this active track thing that I've enabled on the camera, and I feel like it's doing something, so I'm going to pause very briefly. Okay, we're back. So if the camera's slightly different, I had to do a bit of fuckery. Like, I don't know if it's that or if it's like a sort of mild autism thing, or like some sort of neurodivergency.
Autistic people gravitate towards autistic people, right. So I've heard, and like some of my friends have got it.
Yeah.
And normally when I'm in, you know, whenever I've been in like college, for example, or like work, or like basically anywhere where there's a lot of people around, I don't end up hanging around with all of the people that talk about football and pints. I end up talking, and that's, you know, tends to be the neurotypical people or whatever.
Right, yeah.
I end up accidentally hanging around with all the autistic people, and having a lot in common with them. You know what I mean? So I won't be surprised.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like I went through a little period a couple of weeks ago where it really like started fucking me up, and like I haven't fucking just like sat and hung out with like mates in ages because we don't see each other as much, and I'm not in town anymore, so I don't see other people quite as much. But I was like, I felt like lonely, but not in terms of like alone, because I live with Abby and I love living with Abby, and we spend a lot of time together, and we never seem to like really get on each other's tits.
Yeah.
But I just felt lonely in terms of like, oh, like I feel like nobody understands me at all, you know what I mean? And obviously humans are very complex, and I don't think anyone's ever going to truly understand anybody fully. But I was just walking through the world being like, oh, none of these people get me. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't belong here. And I think that's like a symptom of being an artist, maybe to some degree, because like
being surrounded by so many people that you know don't give a shit about you.
Yeah, that is like true. That's like a city thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, do you know, I had a weird thing the other day, and like it's this exact type of shit that goes back to like I get annoyed by such small things in such a big way. Like it'll really piss me off for a long time if something's like, and it's always other people and it's people that I don't know. You know what I mean? I never get pissed off with the people in my life. It's always like the people that I have to interact with. So I live around the corner from Domino's. I was fucking goosed.
Right.
And I was like, I want a Domino's. I'm going to order it. I went on Uber Eats and was like, 99p for delivery. Fucking, you know what? Sound, it's my money. I'll get that shit delivered. I don't care. It's a fucking 3-minute walk.
He lives like 60 feet from the Domino's.
I live right next to the fucking thing. And I was like, oh, you know what? You can bring it to me. It's my money. It's a fucking quid. I'll do what I want.
Yeah.
Ordered it. And then, like, not even straight away, like 20 minutes later, they cancelled the order because there wasn't enough information on the order. Right?
Right.
So then I put it in again for collection and they made it.
That's crazy.
It pissed me off so much. It really fucked me off because it's like, I understand if you're in there saying, oh, what a lazy bastard, he only lives around the corner, why doesn't he come and get it himself? But it's my money and I'll spend how I fucking want, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, how dare you tell me that I can't get it delivered? Like, it's not even you dropping it off, you motherfucker. Like, now I've got to come and fucking get it. I've got to look you in the fucking eye, knowing full well that you just told me I can't have it and lied to me about the reason why. This is bullshit. You know what I mean? It fucked me off so much. Because I was like, who the fuck are you to tell me that I can't spend my money that way?
Oh, that's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. Like, so you could make it. So the order was fine. I know for a fact that my address is right on the fucking thing because I order shit from there whenever I want and it arrives. You know what I mean? And this isn't even the first time they've done it. The first time I was like, oh, whatever, I'll go and get it. This is the second time. Like, how the fuck are you going to tell me that I can't have that because you think that I'm lazy? It's my fucking money. You don't know how to fucking work.
That's
you know what I mean?
Brilliant. Oh, that's so good.
Like, oh, brilliant. Yeah. Like, I was in the middle of watching the rugby. I was happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was enjoying myself. I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying this game. It was the Challenge Cup final. I was like, this is a good game. I don't want to really take too much time away from it. I know that if I get up and walk there, something interesting will happen. I'll come back, be told about it, not be able to watch it.
Yeah.
Like I'm in my fucking underwear. I wanted to be able to just put my fucking hoodie on, go to the door and go, yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
And that be it. And now I've got to fucking put my shoes on and shit. And like, I know that it's not a lot of effort to have to put in. It's a 3-minute walk. But fuck you for telling me that I have to do it when I've paid you my money. You know what I mean?
I hate anything like that where it's like, I'm just trying to give you my money. I'm trying to pay you for a service. Yeah. Stop making it fucking difficult. You know what I mean?
You have advertised this service to me.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also, they're making it awkward because now you're going to walk in and they're going to think, oh, that's that lazy fucker that was trying to get us to...
guy that... Like, just deliver the fucking pizza, you know what I mean?
I'm giving you £1 for it. You know
if anything, it should be a blessing that I live so close.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm making your job easier and paying you extra to do it. I'm paying you more than I need to for you to walk 3 minutes around the fucking corner. Now I'm going to pay you less because I have to do it myself.
Yeah.
It's my money. I was happy to fucking spend it. And like shit like that, like I feel like cities are full of shit like that. Like that was in town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a city, it feels like nearly every interaction is this bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm never gonna have that if I'm growing my own shit.
Yeah. And also it's like there's so many more interactions like in the city, so the chances of them being like that increases exponentially.
Yeah, because it's so much more. It's like a gumball machine with one golden gumball in there, or rather, in this instance, one gumball made of shit. Like if you just get one gumball, it's probably not going to be the shit one. If you get 100 out, there's a good chance you're getting the shit one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's weird because I think people who... It depends why you move to the city, right? Because I also find this now when I come back to the town of like, I have a similar thing where I walk through life and I go, oh, you don't understand me, but in a completely different way. Yeah. Like, at least in some areas of the city, especially like near where I live, I feel a bit more accepted because I feel like maybe people have gone there to do a thing. Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there for the same reason as you. The creatives and artists that move to the city to try and make a bit of money off it.
Yeah, and I guess even if it's not creatives, it's just the idea of, I'm going to move from this fucking village that I live in, wherever, to be where the things are happening because I want to do things. I want to like achieve things, and I want to express myself in certain ways and stuff. And it's like, to be fair, like I feel weirder walking through our hometown dressed certain ways than I do walking through Liverpool dressed certain ways, right? Because it's like, as much as I still feel like I don't fully belong and like I am different to people in the city, again, because there's more people, there is more people like me potentially, you know what I mean? There's more people who also feel like they just want to express themselves and they don't get understood by that.
The town mentality is like, because it's so small, the culture is also so small, so everyone's kind of the same. Like, there's a lot of the same guy walking around in like blue jeans, polo t-shirt tucked into the fucking jeans, bald head. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of that in our town, you know what I mean? So when you're walking through town with like a cap, people look at the cap like it's a weird thing to have. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I was thinking about this a few weeks ago because my gym membership is the membership where you can use any JD, right? So it's sometimes, if I've been here for studio stuff, it's like, oh, I'll go with this one. You know what I mean? It was the OG one, the home of my initial gains. Give it a go. It's got the best leg machines. We'll do it. I'll probably do it later today. You know what I mean? I brought my gym stuff. So I was in the one in Widnes, and this might be sexist, but Sean's just said a stereotypical thing about males, so I'll say the female equivalent, right? And I was looking around and I was thinking, there's actually a lot of attractive people in Widnes, right? And obviously the gym is like probably where they go, right? Yeah. But I was like, there's a lot of attractive people in here and there's a lot of attractive women in here, but I guarantee that I would not find any of them interesting, right? Because
they all look exactly the same as each other, which is indicative of like a lack of individual personality.
Yeah, and I found this when I used to gig here more, and you'd be playing in a pub or something, and you'd be like, oh, like, this is just a bunch of the same group of people over and over again. And I've decided to coin the term a new build person, right? Yeah. The kind of person that would live in a new build home with white walls and a great, like grey decor and like, you know, like the sort of satiny bed.
Live, laugh, love.
Yeah. And it's like,
it's gin o'clock.
Yeah, and I guess at least when I'm in the city and I feel out of place, I can think, well, fuck, I would have felt even more out of place here. You know what I mean? And I did, and I definitely feel less of that now that I've moved. So anyway, do you want to talk about Michael?
Yeah, shit. Yeah, we both saw the Michael Jackson movie. Now, it's part one of a two-parter. Yeah. I'm very excited for the second part. That shit's going to be controversial as fuck.
Have they confirmed the second part, or is it just because it ends like that people are saying there's going to be a second part?
No, they've confirmed they're doing a second one. And now, this is something that like has annoyed me, not as much as the pizza thing, but like a little. Yeah. First one's called Michael. Yeah. Second one's called Michael 2.
Oh, is it? Should have called it Jackson.
Exactly. Right. That is exactly the point I was going to make. Why have you not called it Jackson? Yeah. It's a... What other Jackson would it be about? Come on, it's not about Jermaine.
Yeah, that's
true. Let's be fucking real. Yeah, I thought it was a really fucking good film. I learn't a lot about him that I didn't know. I didn't realise that he was wearing that glove because of a skin condition.
No, I didn't either, to be fair.
Like...
Yeah, I learned a lot that I didn't already know.
Yeah.
Did you not feel like it was a bit, like, propaganda-y, though?
Well, maybe a bit, to be fair.
It was a bit like...
Like, I'm not too sure if he did it.
No, and neither am I, and I guess nobody can be, really.
Yeah, like, I feel like he's an easy target because he is a weird guy, and, like...
Yeah.
you know.
I sort of felt like, well, okay, two things. I felt like, one, it's crazy to, even like allegations aside, right? It's crazy to make a biopic about somebody that is so eccentric and not really dive into that much. It would just show you him, especially for like the first third of the film. I was sat there going, this is such a weird film, because he's like doing all this weird shit and being weird Michael Jackson, but it's not being addressed or commented on. And then I realised it's because a lot of the film to me kind of felt like it was just a big Wikipedia article.
Yeah.
Like, and it was well made to some degree, like, and the performance scenes were great, and the choreo was great, and the music was cool and stuff, because it's Michael Jackson, right? Obviously, but I was like, what is this? This is nothing. You know what I mean? It's not do you understand what I mean? Because he's like insane, and it didn't delve into that at all.
I feel like his insanity gets worse after where we left off, though.
Yeah.
Like, the point where it leaves off, he's about to go solo. So up until that, it's not so much a story about Michael as it is about the Jackson family's dynamic, right?
This is what I thought.
So, like, it's about his relationship with his dad more than it's about him. Mm-hmm. And then it finishes with him cutting those ties with his dad. And it's after that everything just gets so much weirder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, the next one I'm so much more excited for, because it's like, how are they going to address it?
Yeah.
Because you can't talk about that part of Michael Jackson's life without talking about all of the allegations and all of the turning white. And now, the turning white thing was because of his skin condition.
Yeah.
I never knew that. Everyone had been saying the whole time, like, oh, it's because he was bleaching his skin because he wanted to be white and stuff. And he'd say, like, no, like, it's not that. It's, you know, it's kind of embarrassing. I don't really want to talk about it. And he'd never really address it himself. Yeah. But now they are addressing that. And, like, I don't know, some parts of his weirdness get explained away by shit like that. Like, the whole becoming white thing, you'd view that as like, oh, this man is a psycho, and it turns out it's a skin condition. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, that's fine then. That's totally normal. Like, you know, his hair being as straight as it was, like, to be fair, he had his scalp burnt off.
Yeah.
That
and like,
shit'll happen.
And like his nose, the plastic surgery, and he wants to look like Peter Pan and shit. Like,
and like,
that was all interesting.
Because his dad was calling him Big Nose as a kid. It's like, oh, so that's why you've done that. And plastic surgery in the 80s and 90s was absolute shit. So that's understandable. So, like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of explaining away some of the stuff that everyone's thought is weird as fuck about him. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I've heard since that he had, like, eating disorders and all sorts of stuff. So when people are saying, like, oh, you know, and his cheekbones, he's had them done, it's like, no, he's just gaunt because he's ill. Yeah. Like, he's an insomniac because his life happens at night time and also at daytime. Like, he's busy 24 hours of the day, 7 days a week, fucking 30 years. That shit will make you pale. That shit will get your cheekbones out. You know what I mean?
I felt like it got almost a bit more sinister the more it went on, because weird things would happen, and they'd kind of be like, the family, like, he'd get a chimp, and the family would be like, oh, Michael, you know what I mean? Is Michael being Michael? He's eccentric and stuff like that. And then, which is fine for things as innocent as, like, him just being a bit weird in the gym. Yeah. But then, like, the things that he tried to use to sort of show him in a good light of, like, him in the Burns unit, like, looking after the little kids and talking to the kids, like, it tried to paint that as sweet, and maybe it is, right? But also, as the viewer, we sort of imprint this kind of sinister undertone on it because we know what comes next, right? And I was just like, it's mad that they're deliberately showing this.
Setting up, like, no, he was hanging around with all these kids because he wanted to do nice things for kids. And, like, in clips of him, like, in his life, hanging around with these kids, looking back at them, if you take the allegations away from it, it actually does come off as kind of perfectly innocent. Like, he wasn't allowed to have a childhood, and I've always viewed that as kind of an excuse by Michael Jackson fans, but looking back at it, like, if you're looking out the window at all the kids playing in the snow while you're getting made to go to a club that's got strippers in it at the age of fucking 5 so that you can sing because your dad's making you for money, and then all of your brothers, you're trying to turn around and go, hey, let's play Twister. I've never played that before. Like, you know, it looks like fun, and they're all like, oh, shut up, Michael. We're gonna go out fucking. Yeah. Like, I can see how he's sort of wound up in this position where he's like wanting to relive some of that. And also, there was a clip of Macaulay Culkin, I think, talking about, you know, someone asked him, like, did he do it? And he said, no, like, and this is before all the Epstein shit came out. Yeah. And he said, he's the only reason that I never wound up on that fucking island, and didn't say anything further than that. And now that we know that there was a child molestation island active at the time, you know, Corey Feldman, he's come out and said, like, oh yeah, basically everyone was goosing me apart from Michael. He was protecting me from all of that stuff. Yeah. Like, the only people that have come out and said that he did were people that...
the people that accused him of doing it.
Like. Were like people that needed money because they had financial situations going on, and he's an easy target because he's weird as shit. Yeah, people are going to believe that. Yeah, but I don't know. There's an element of it where it seems like he was kind of trying to create a safe space for kids that didn't exist. Like, all right, if you're going to be around all of these people who I know for a fact are molesting kids, don't go there. Come to my ranch. I've got a Ferris wheel that you can go on. I've got a slide. I've got a bouncy castle. You just do that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think, like...
That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if he did do it.
Yeah. I was saying, because, like, regardless of, like, what the real shit behind the allegations is, like, the film... I understand that they wanted to make a Michael biopic, and that was the thing, right? But I feel it would be like, I can't think of a good example, but it's so much a part of what his overall story ended up being, was his, even allegations aside, his like eccentricities and stuff. To make a biopic without like really diving into that, it just seemed like, okay, well, what's the point in what we're doing here? It almost would have been better, I think, to focus more on the Jacksons and his father. You know what I mean? Like not make it a Michael-centric thing. Make it a Jacksons documentary, or like
focus on that stuff. Though I feel like there was more focus on that than there was on him as a person. To an extent.
There was a lot of stuff about his father and stuff like that, but obviously because he's the name of the movie, you know what I mean? It's like his thing, and they didn't really, you know, I'm not saying that the other Jacksons were particularly interested in anything, I don't know, but like that dynamic between Michael and his father and the rest of the Jacksons, I think that would probably be quite an interesting dynamic to explore, right? Yeah. So if you're gonna make a film about Michael and his father and the Jacksons, but not do any of the stuff about what a interesting, crazy guy Michael is, then maybe lean even heavier on like the family shit.
I feel like the next one is gonna be the one that delves into all that, because I feel like his eccentric the next one's gonna be
so crazy.
Yeah, I feel like all of his eccentric shit sort of amplified once he was out from underneath his dad's thumb. Yeah. Like, it felt to me like that film was an exploration of like, here's Michael and here's what he was being subjected to by his family, and then it finishes with him getting out from underneath that. The next one is going to be him living out from underneath that, where he gets to truly become himself, which ends up being a crazy motherfucker. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm more excited for the second one than I was for this one.
I didn't know if they were definitely making a second one. Obviously, it ended with that sort of Avengers style Michael will return in Endgame kind of thing. You know what I mean? But I think they've had a lot of like legal trouble, because they were gonna address some of that shit in the one that we watched. Yeah. But there's certain things that were mentioned and certain like clauses in settlements that were made that like people couldn't be portrayed on film, and certain things can't be talked about and stuff like that. So it will be like, if they do another one, it'll be interesting to see how they deal with that, because it's going to be fucking crazy. But the one thing I will say, because I didn't really love it. I was like, it's kind of a weird cinema going experience. The one thing I will say is it made me want to listen to Michael Jackson more. You know what I mean? As someone who's like not really delved into him much, I was like, like it is actually like, or everything else aside, separate art from artist, as I believe you should do sometimes. Like, very sick. You know what I mean? Very good. Like, genius level pop music. You know what I mean? Right, should we end it? You got anything more to talk about? It's been the world's longest pod.
Yeah. Bye.
No, you gotta say. Wait, have we got anything to plug first of all?
Stay hungry.
All right, okay.
A couple of songs in a couple of months.
Yeah, a couple of songs. I also don't know when this pod's coming out, because at the minute we've been doing them like one a month, which is a nice format, because you can sort of like.
Yeah.
So maybe this comes out at the start of July. Maybe if there's other shit going on, then I'll do it earlier. But I guess songs coming soon. Stay
hungry. Bye.